Hello Game Boys and Game Girls, I'm the Game Boy Guru and welcome to another pickups video. I don't have a lot to show off here today because I didn't buy a lot during the month of January 2019. Partially because I spent money on my game room, buying some new shelves. You'll be able to see, oh, I moved the wrong way here. You'll be able to see this new shelf here that I've got set up, and this is my PSP games. There was PSP on this shelf before, but as you know, it was a shelf like this one here with just a few shelves and then all games stacked on top of each other instead of the way it is now, where everything is set up vertically on a shelf, so I can actually go to the shelf and pick off a game and not have to pull one out from the middle of a stack. So much better. I've got two more of those over here, and you're going to be seeing probably another one of those here in the corner. Yes, I will be covering the window partially, but that's okay because then it won't sun fade the PSP games. So I'm going to be doing more, and I'm probably going to, at some point, move these shelves out of here and buy another one of those to go on this side, and then maybe buy something a little slimmer to go in the middle and see if I can make that happen. Hopefully the measurements will pan out. But I will go ahead and show off what I picked up this month. So we'll start with a couple of random things that I grabbed. And I grabbed these from a game store. And, just one of those things where you go and you buy a couple things and it's just random. So I got Shrek the Third on PSP. I got the Sega Genesis collection on PS2. And I also finally now have Altered Beast for the Sega Genesis. I was surprised to find as I was looking through my collection that I didn't have a copy of this. And I played a ton of this growing up because I played it at a friend's house and then borrowed the game from him several times after I got my Sega Genesis, which of course I bought later, that came with Sonic the Hedgehog. And I know this game takes a lot of flack. People say it's garbage or whatever. It's not garbage. It's not fantastic, but it's fun in short bursts, and it's a reasonably good conversion of the arcade game. So yeah, I still think it's worth playing. So definitely enjoyed that. Picked these up from a local store that has a small selection of games. They're more of a toy store, but nonetheless, I was pleased to get those. Go ahead and show off my one of my big shmup gets for the month, and that is Fantasy Zone for the Sega Saturn. This is the Sega Ages line, and very nice to have this. It's complete, other than the, I don't think it came with the spine card. But it does have the warranty card, which is cool, and this fun little advertisement for the game Amok. So pretty cool. Glad to finally have a good playable arcade conversion of this game that I can sink my teeth into. And I am definitely planning on at some point a playthrough of this game in the Shmup Club, but I still have a couple versions of it I need to get. Most notably, I still need the Famicom version that was done by Sunsoft. I still need to grab the Sega Master System version at some point, and the TurboGrafx version. So, yeah, coming soon, hopefully. I bought a few things from fellow RF Generation member Grey Ghost 81, who is one of the hosts of the RF Generation Playcast, an awesome podcast that you should be listening to if you're not already. And he sent me some PSP games that I got from him. Filled a number of holes in my collection, actually. Plus, well, I'll get into that in a minute. So, we've got Astonishia Story, or Astonicia. I'm not sure exactly how you pronounce it yet, but a little RPG action there. Speaking of RPG, we have Phantasy Star Portable. We also have Mana Khemia Student Alliance. Jacandia, The Timeless Land, and this one actually happens to still be sealed. We have The Legend of Heroes 2, Prophecy of the Moonlight Witch. And we have Steamboat Chronicles Battle Tournament. So lots of PSP love from Grey Ghost 81. He knows that I am working toward a full US PSP set, and so this crosses a couple of the slightly more expensive RPGs off my list. And not only did he send me those, that's what I originally bought from him. That was what we made a deal for. But he also sent me a couple packages of this insanely good beef jerky that I ended up taking to the office with me and eating on breaks and stuff. But he also sent me this PSP portable UMD case. And I've got one of these already. These are pretty cool because you open it up and then it's got these magnetic these little magnets inside that will hold the UMDs in place. Well, I looked at it and it's full of games. He absolutely did not have to do this, and he completely went above and beyond the Call of Duty. But just a quick rundown here. This has MLB 09, the show, Final Fantasy Dissidia, Blade Dancer, Lineage of Light, Medal of Honor Heroes Greatest Hits, and then when you open the other side, Over the Hedge, Hammy Goes Nuts, ATV Off-Road Fury Blazing Trails, SmackDown vs. Raw 2008, and Rock Band Unplugged, which is a good game. So, many thanks to Grey Ghost 81 for definitely going way above and beyond the Call of Duty with this. Much appreciated. And my final gaming gets for the month that I can show off here is just a small lot of Sega stuff that I bought from someone locally off Facebook. So I have a cartridge copy of Williams Arcade Greatest Hits. It's got a handful of classic Williams titles there. I got a car charger or car adapter for the Sega Game Gear, which is kind of neat. I didn't have one of those already. And the real reason that I bought this lot is a complete copy of Shoplifter for the Sega Master System. Still need to get my Genesis Model 1 out of storage so I can hook it up and start using my Powerbase FM unit, but very glad to finally have this in the collection. This is one of the I guess you would call it a shmup. It's a little bit different. It's a shooting game, but it's not auto-scrolling. It's more like Defender. You have to rescue people and take them back to your home base. And so, very cool game, and glad to finally have what some consider to be the definitive version of this game in my collection. That's all I have to show off. I also wanted to mention that I bought some other things for my streaming setup. I got a pair of HD Retrovision cables, so I have the Sega Genesis Model 2 cable that excuse me, that I can use with the XI, and also I got the adapter for the Model 1 so that I can use my Genesis Model 1 to plug in with that. That'll be fun. And there are adapters for the original PlayStation and the Sega Saturn. Unfortunately, at the time that I bought the cables, those were sold out, but I'm hoping that I'll be able to source those somewhere. I also bought a RetroTink 2X, which is a little device that will allow me to connect composite S-Video and component devices into that pipes them out through HDMI and creates a 480p signal then that I can pass through my capture card, and then I can use that to capture video or stream. So I have done a little bit with that. I messed around with G.I. Joe, the Atlantis Factor on NES, and that is the game I'm currently working on for the Art Generation NES Challenge this year. But now that Zanak is the game of the month for this month, which you may have seen in my previous video, I'll be streaming that. And so I'm going to be using this to stream all kinds of cool stuff. Systems I haven't been able to hook up through other means. I may even be able to hook up my ColecoVision and my Atari 7800 or my Atari Jaguar via RF to an old VCR DVD combo unit that I have, and then pipe that out through either composite or S-video, depending on what my options are, into the Retro Tank, and then use that to stream those as well. So I'll be able to stream possibly ColecoVision, Atari 2600 and 7800 games, and other cool stuff using that method as well. So I'm really glad to have that, and you know, all of that stuff costs money, and so it makes it so I don't buy as much in just regular games. But I think it'll be worth it once I can start capturing footage and streaming that stuff more. And the Super NES HD Retrovision cable that I bought should allow me to begin to capture the Super Game Boy via the Super Nintendo, and then I can start getting back into doing my reviews again, because the two reviews that I have queued up are both Super Game Boy games. So again, that's all I have to show and talk about today. If you like this video, consider giving it a thumbs up. Also consider subscribing so that you can see more of my videos in your YouTube feed. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at GameBoy Guru. I'll have a link in the description below to my blog where you can read my Game Boy reviews. And also make sure you check out Nira and his channel. He provided the Super Mario Land overworld music that I use as the intro for many of my videos. And he has a bunch of other great chiptune and game music covers on there as well. So make sure you go check him out because it's good stuff. As always, thanks for watching, thanks for playing, and game on.